those first interactions with Steve Spurrier, what were they like? What do you most remember from the head ball coach?
I can say I most remember the play calls because my freshman year I had no idea what he was talking about. But just sitting to be around him and seeing like how really deep he was in the football, not just at the stadium. It's like even when he's playing golf, he's talking about football. When he's in the weight room running on the treadmill, he's thinking of play. It was crazy to see like how deep he was into it, man. I was like, I love that part of it. And him as a person, he's a great guy, but he's gonna be hard on you. He expects the best out of you at all times.
For sure. Now that first year, DJ, of course, you redshirted in 2013, so you got to kind of sit back and watch Sal kind of do what they did in 2013 with a senior Connor Shaw and Jadeveon Clowney. I could just go down the list of all the names, obviously, but Gamecocks had a really deep offensive line that year, and you got to redshirt and sort of sit back and develop. How do you feel like that year helped you? I mean, did it help you as far as obviously we know, the physical attributes and everything else, the development that goes into it. But how do you feel that that freshman redshirt year helped you your first year on campus?
I definitely say the biggest thing was getting to see what like college football leading into pros was really all about. And you got to see that like, okay, everybody is good now. It's not just like it's going to be a walk in the park. It's not, like the person I had to block trying to scout team. So I got it every day up front of like, oh, this is the top defensive lineman in the league right here. So it's an everyday occurrence. And I got to learn a lot from the older guys, and they helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just said you had to block Clowney on scout team. That's probably a pretty rude welcoming to college football and SEC football. When not only Clowney, though, people forget like Devin Taylors and the Chaz Suttons and all the athletes we had up front of the defensive line. I mean, really, you think it's a great example of iron sharpens iron because you're not going to see anybody better in game than probably what you faced in practice.
Oh, yeah, man. Especially my freshman year, our defensive line, all of them were phenomenal players. And, like, I completely understood why we went 11-2 and why our defense was so good. Like, they really set the standard for a lot of how things were going to go. And even, like, going on towards life now, like, every time I go to a different place, I always compare my defensive line to my freshman year defensive line.
Right. The best of the best. Why not? Now, I talked about Shawn Elliott, DJ. I want to get more into him because he's a guy that obviously played a huge impact in your career and, I think had a major impact on South Carolina football as a whole, was run game coordinator, offensive line coach. And I've had some of your former teammates on, and they talk about just that relationship with Shawn Elliott and the type of man he was, the type of coach he was, everything, the way he approached the game. Obviously, he's doing great things now at Georgia State. But what was that relationship like with him, man? Because I remember watching Coach Elliott and a little bit of a maniac. We all remember the mosh pits before the game and stuff like that. And again, that's one of the things that made him such a great coach. Then obviously, I think you really saw an example of his character when he took over as the head coach in 2015 at the end of that season. But Shawn Elliott, what can you say about him? A guy that obviously had a huge impact while he was in Columbia.
Oh, first of all, I got to say he's a great guy. Just helped me out personally getting there. Like he made me kind of, I guess, come out of my shell. He forced me to come out of my shell when I first got there because, I was a young guy. I don't know nothing. I'm fresh out of high school and coming in early. It's like I didn't know anything, but like he helped me a lot. Just like on a personal level as well as football. And he was kind of the person that took me under his wing and kind of taught me football as a whole.